All right. Okay, welcome to this special planning meeting. So we've got a committee meeting for Monday the 22nd of February. We have present Alderman Briscoe, Councillor Harvey and Councillor Dutta and myself, Councillor Burnett. Do we have any apologies or leave of absence? No, thank you, Belinda. No people to co-opt. Alderman Brackus, welcome. Item 2, indications of pecuniary and conflicts of interest. There being none. Item 3, committee acting as a planning authority. 3.1 is applications under the City of Hobart Planning Scheme. 3.1.1 is 14 Goulburn Street, signage and fencing, and we received some information back on those questions that we had, so I'll open the item for discussion. Is there anything else that you want to add, Ms Abbey or Mr Noy?
No, Chair. I'm happy to take questions if...
Pretty self-explanatory.
Chair, what are the implications if we approved this at committee?
Well, you're entitled to do so against officer advice, but I suppose the issue with this application is that it's while the car parking configuration on the face of it stays the same, the actual area available for car parking, while it doesn't currently or in its original state didn't satisfy the length standards set out in the Australian standards, it did satisfy the width requirements. This proposal before us proposes to reduce the width of the car park to the point where it doesn't satisfy the Australian standards for width as well as length. And that's, I suppose, the concern at officer level, is that you're making a non-compliant arrangement more non-compliant, notwithstanding that still have car parking spaces on there.
Councillor Dutta?
Thank you, Chair. I would move the recommendation as on the books.
Right, thank you. Further discussion? No further discussion. So do we have a legal obligation to keep footpaths free of parked cars?
That is my understanding, Chair. You can't park on a public footpath.
And there was no application with this development application, no application for occupation of council land, i.e.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so the item is for refusal.
Can I ask who the car parking is for? Is it for the units or is it just general parking for the whole property?
Davey?
Through you, Chair, I understand that one was for one of the units and the other was visitor parking, I understand. I can't tell you with specific detail whether it was for the front unit or for the back unit.
So the issue is it doesn't comply with the width or the length, and there's no way of conditioning it. Like, I know there's some signs around Hobart which say small cars only, but we're not able to condition it for small cars.
I don't believe... Well, I don't think that it would be something that we could necessarily fully enforce.
Yeah.
As a planning authority. We probably could as a parking authority.
Welcome, Councillor Coates. So we have this item and Councillor Dutta has moved the recommendation for refusal. Did you want to add anything?
Not at this stage, thank you.
Okay, so I'll put the motion if there's no further discussion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Those against?
No.
Pardon?
No.
No? So show of hands, please. Those
Oh,
in
sorry,
favour.
I just because both devices died on me. Which motion we?
Well, the only motion that we have on the books.
So the other one, so it's the one that was for refusal. Right.
Those in favour, raise your hand. Of refusal. Those against? Oh, that's a surprise. Okay, the motion is lost. Do I have an alternate motion? Have an alternate motion?
There's some conditions for approval, I understand, that are available. So I'll move for
Could we see those, please?
Three chairs have been provided.
Can we have them on the screen, please? And what would the requirements of the parking, can the parking be provided, Mr Noy or Ms Abbey?
The proposed conditions do include a requirement that parking is contained within the site, and that was included due to the fact that the applicant didn't include the council footpath as part of the land that was the subject of the application. If elected members were reminded to remove that requirement, that could be removed from condition E and G5.
So if
They've
the,
been sent through to us because there's nothing on the screen.
I think they've been sent to you.
Oh, have they?
so if with that condition, if the cars park outside on the footpath, they will receive a ticket.
They'll be, if they are observed.
Parking over the footpath.
That is my understanding. I can get confirmation, but we, as a matter of course.
Oh, here we are.
We,
Thank you.
with some warning, we do serve tickets on people parking on footpaths.
But if it's a small car,
If it's a small car and it's not parked over the footpath, I mean, we've got some images here of some mid-size and some larger cars that clearly over park on the footpath.
if you had advice then, please note that large cars will be over the footpath and be subject to the parking
Infringement?
infringement.
Not large cars. Any car that hangs over the footpath would be subject to infringement.
Yes, but it should be advice, it can't be a condition, yeah.
The advice, and look, we can include that, and I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah, there's a similar sort of car park in Mole Street, and I don't think that's policed because all their cars, there's about 6 cars, they all hang over the footpath, and that's not policed. So, but anyway, I'm not suggesting you do police it, but
And you've got the neighbours doing the same thing as well.
Yeah.
anyway,
All right.
But
Okay, so has everybody had a chance to have a look at these conditions?
what's number 2?
And you want to have advice in relation to...
2, yeah, just that large cars may infringe impede the footpath.
So did you move the motion?
I'm happy with the motion, but it seems like Alderman Harvey had a say.
You've moved
So
it?
there are some conditions, so there will need to be a couple of changes.
So what's been
What's
applied
been
for?
done, like you've got the fence transparency.
that's right. That's a pedestrian safety requirement.
Okay, does anybody want to speak to this conditioned approval?
I
Councillor
just have
Dutton?
a question, Chair. What are the legal ramifications of this?
Mr Noy?
Well, as I indicated before, council has the discretion to approve this proposal. Clearly, you've had officer advice that it should not, but you're entitled as the decision-making planning authority to disregard that qualified advice and approve the proposal.
I'll just make a comment that I think it's folly to move away from something that is clear advice based on effectively safety as far as I can see, and whilst some of these conditions do address some of the safety elements, it just seems a very strange approach to something which is pretty substandard in front of with parking in front of a house like this. So actually approving something like this, I certainly don't support. So I'll...
Can I make a comment? I understand the sentiment of your comments, but it's existing. The neighbours have got existing. So we're not changing the world by approving this. We're not changing the world. It's already there. The neighbours have already got similar parking. If you go around the street in Mole Street, they've got similar parking. So it's not changing the world. It's not a fundamental, earth-shattering decision we're making tonight if we make it.
Okay, well, that might be your opinion, Alderman Briscoe.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's good. I just
So
had to
I'll
have
put
more
the motion.
content.
Those in favour, say aye. Those against? No. Show of hands. Those in favour? Those against? Motion is carried. Meeting closed. Thank you.